Today we're going through the best and worst tattoo TikToks I could find and some of the comments. Let's jump into it. We're starting off with a light one, a little lighthearted. Let's talk about it.
What is something that bothers you about the tattoo industry today?
Probably this shit. It bothers me how important social media is now, to be honest.
You gotta do shit like this.
Just how much of the job is working on social media, not actually tattooing.
I don't even have a job tattooing anymore. I'm just a social media guy. I mean, we're here doing social media stuff, so this is super contradicting, but there are people with millions of followers that have just started tattooing or they have no idea how to tattoo. They think because of those numbers, they're like the greatest tattoo artists in the world. Yes, that maybe opens you to more bookings and more clients, but don't get an ego about that because it's gonna stop you from learning. So stay humble, know who you are, know where you're at in your career regardless of the followers so that you can become a better artist and you can grow even more.
Okay, so the social media aspect of tattooing is obviously something most tattooers do not like. In my experience, there's not a lot of young tattooers who like just start posting on social media and they get some fame and all of a sudden they're like super popular or anything like that. I don't really think that that happens too much. I think that most of the times, the people who get famous on social media for tattooing are actually really talented tattooers. Sometimes I think that they do things that don't really make great tattoos in the long run, and because most tattooers function within this like, hey, I want my tattoos to look good forever, so they kind of end up looking a certain way, and then anybody who contradicts that because they don't care or maybe they don't know how a tattoo will age over time, and their stuff becomes more popular. Like I think about those like blue dragon tattoos we see a lot. Like obviously the guy who does them is super talented, but if they saw what blue tattoos look like in 20 years, they probably wouldn't do it. Definitely understand why tattooers hate being on camera. You know, it's just part of the game. I don't know, stop being babies, you know? Like, it sucks. But yeah, it is part of the job now. I still think that there is a lot of room for just talented tattooers to have a lot of success on the internet still, I think. I think about young tattooers who are just crushing it and they just get a lot of followers and it's like, yeah. But they're not like the most followed people. I don't know. I also think that in social media, a lot of people overestimate its value. Obviously, it's an extremely valuable thing, but the numbers are not that important when you get down into it, realistically. Like, I'm a tattooer with relatively a lot of views and a lot of subscribers and a lot of Instagram followers. Not that many, but enough. And it's still not like I make a post and then I'm booked for 6 months straight and I'm making millions of dollars. Like it still takes a lot of, finessing, and if I'm trying to book out a week, it takes me a few days to do it. Which maybe sounds like to you, if you're a young tattooer, you're like, oh my God, he could book up in a few days. And it's like, yeah, but I only travel to those places like every 6 months. If I was sitting in a place, if I had to go home, sit in San Diego and still had my social media stuff, I'd have plenty of empty days. That's just the reality of it. On to the next. Soulmated so hard. Apparently a horse, they soulmated with this horse. Beautiful thing. I love horses. They're cool. I love animals. So they did the silhouette of the face and the nose part, but they skipped all the rest of it. And I mean, all of us know exactly what that looks like. It looks either very phallic or kind of looks like uterus, like at the bottom part, something feminine or something masculine. It's a bad look. That's one of those times the tattooer should have been like, hey, I just did this stencil. It looks like not a horse. And yeah, I mean, obviously there is just parts of it that just don't look right at all. What did the comments say? Cute, but can I recommend a full outline? Because it kind of looks like a DIH with ears. So someone didn't want to spell it all the way out. Why is it giving me C == == 8 vibes? Is that a, yeah, no, righto lads. Glad you like it though. So a lot of people having the same idea that I have when you see this tattoo. I mean, it looks like a pecker, a cute little pecker. Yeah, finish that one off. Go get that one fixed. And that tattooer should have spotted that and convinced you to not do that. Tattooers can sometimes be very passive in my experience, especially like they know that this is a permanent thing. They want you to be happy, so you bring us ideas, and then we hesitate to say the thing we need to say. That tattooer should have absolutely been like, this looks like a big meaty popsicle, a big thick veiny popsicle, bro. And instead you ended up with this meaty popsicle instead of them being like, hey, well, let's put the eyes on like the rest of the silhouette. Let's do it right so it doesn't look like you got a pecker with ears. Next. This is some Russian tattooing. They all have the same image on their back and it looks tough. Tough. I think who is that? It looks like Saint Nicholas. Who is that in Russian? Is it Russia? I could be wrong on like the actual location of the person. Yeah, Russian icon Saint Nicholas. That looks cool. That looks so cool. Like super, it's funny how certain things just feel very native to a culture. If I was in Russia, I'd want that back piece too. Like looking at it, I'm like, that looks tough. And these dudes are rocking it really well, doing like in a black and gray studio, tough as nails, Saint Nicholas. I imagine like who's an American icon that won't get everybody upset? What's an American, like if everybody in a tattoo shop had an eagle on their back, you'd be like, that looks tough, especially in the same style. Or if you were in Japan and everyone had dragons, you'd be like, that's tough, dude. That is tough. It feels very cultural, even the way it's being tattooed is actually like very much black and gray, which in my eyes will always feel Latino or Mexican, East LA feeling. It's cool to see it in Russia, right? Like, and with their imagery and their strength, looks tough as nails. I'm in. Next. Okay, can't use any of the music, so I'll read it for you. God forbid a tattoo artist speaks out against art theft. Here are just a few of the comments. Boo-hoo. Damn, queen, I'm so sorry. I definitely have this tattooed on my face, but thank you so much for creating this. Shouldn't you be incredibly honored? I guess I just can't help wonder what Sailor Jerry would say to this kind of post, considering once it's been tattooed on somebody's body, it is no longer yours to claim. It's theirs to claim. And if other people want to copy it, they will. Stop being butthurt that your art is stolen because you damn well sold it when you tattooed it. Everything is copying of a copy. Blah, 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 blah. Look, as a tattooer, I could care less about tattoo art theft. I think we're among one of the few art forms that art theft has been built into our culture. I'm trying to think where else you see it. I mean, like you do see it in music a lot where like you hear the same tunes reused and usually they give credit or have to pay money to the original person, but I just don't care about it at all. Like, and maybe it's my own like being wrapped up in tattooing forever, but yeah, I kind of feel like it's boo-hooey bull, I'm like, who cares? You did the tattoo, you got paid for it. If it was a good image that's hard to replicate in any other way, it's gonna get stolen. I don't know. It's like, I guess it's kind of goofy to me for you to think about one image considering we do so many tattoos every single week. If you're a busy tattooer, you're doing 10, 15 tattoos a week, depending on your style and such. If you're doing big black and gray work, you might only do a couple, but it just feels like not tattooing to care about that. I've been accused of stealing images that I have definitely stolen, and I just could care less back then. I don't care now. I don't really do it too much now, but our shop definitely steals images from tattoo places because people come in, they want it, we're gonna do it. And because I know that they're gonna get the best tattoo out of my shop, so if I send them away because they wanna take some other tattoo idea, I go, that's wrong. Because they're gonna get a crappy version of a stolen tattoo, we should do the tattoo. And plus, I just don't care. Like it's so in tattooing to take images, reuse them, and move on with it. If you don't like that about tattooing, make any other type of art and you're good in tattooing. This is just part of the game. Some of the comments. Preach. It's shocking that artists have to pick between being idle while others reap the rewards of their labor, or being vocal about such issues, receiving backlash, or defending their own work. First off, when people talk about backlash in like social media terms, like this person is receiving backlash, and what she's really talking about is comments on a post on Instagram. And I go, that is silly. Okay, that is not backlash in any real form. A comment, although makes you feel uncomfortable, makes you bummed out or whatever, is literally nothing. It doesn't have an effect on your life, and the fact that you think that like it's so big that you're receiving all this backlash for wanting other people not to copy your art, you want people not to copy your art. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal. Make a post about it, receive backlash or 3 comments that say you're a dick, and move on with your life, okay? I love tattooing, and I love tattoo social media. Obviously, it's a big part of my life and my everyday thing, but I just have no sympathy for people who receive backlash in the comment section. Having said that, if you want to say that you hate that about tattooing, go for it. You're gonna end up probably receiving a fair amount of people being like, I don't like that. We like when people steal stuff. It's part of tattoo. Actually, I would guess most tattooers would not agree with me on that take. I think most tattooers would be upset if someone took their image and redid it on somebody else. So, you know, most people would agree with this. The reap the rewards of their labor. This comment, like, it's shocking that other people are receiving the rewards of your labor because they're stealing your image and redoing it. I think that's cool. Like, if someone else can get a paycheck because they live in Arizona and I tattoo in California, and they take one of my images and they get a couple $100 to feed their family off of some guy who was on Instagram, was like, oh, I love this tattoo, I'm gonna go get it done by somebody else. And like the whole thing just like happening because of something I created, I think it's cool. I don't understand the whiny nature of complaining about that. It just seems cool to me. But, you know, I'm not them. You know, there's also this thing in tattooers. Tattooers feel so attached to their art. Like people do. Like people create some art and they're like, that is me. This is who I am as a person. I am the art I create. And I just cannot back that up. Like I just don't care that much. I don't think that a good image means that anything about me. Like if I do a cool tattoo, I did a cool tattoo. I've worked hard to make those cool tattoos, but it doesn't mean that I'm like a better human being anymore. You know, like I do not identify that much with my work. It just exists, it's out, whatever happens after that point, happens after that point. Next. Okay. Told him I'm gonna be giving myself a leg tattoo. He said, oh cool, like a little tattoo at your house to practice? Holy effing gairballs? Airball? Holy effing airball? Oh, holy effing airball. Okay. Yeah, this person agrees with me. That is a dumb tattoo. Such a waste of time and pain. Look, if you want to learn how to tattoo, I think that someone could think like, hey, I'm gonna do this tattoo in all white so I could really learn how to use a tattoo machine and really get under, like you're not gonna learn how to tattoo. Tattooing with the white is like nothing else. You do not learn how to do regular tattoos with it because you cannot see the results actually, and because it's really hard to tattoo with white because it's just a crappy absence of a color. It's a crappy color to use. It just does not work the same way other colors work, and definitely does not work the way black does. If this tattoo was in black, you'd see all the holidays, all the crappiness. I mean, obviously it's a crappy, dumb idea. I'm glad they didn't do it in black because this white will fade and the tattoo does not have to exist any longer. But yeah, no, you're not learning anything. Maybe what would you learn from this? You'd learn how much white sucks. And then you'd probably learn that I should never tattoo myself ever again because it hurts really bad and it's like a really awkward position to have to like squeeze into. That's about it. That's all you'd learn. What does it say? Some of the comments. How does the blue not mix in with the white, making tattoo blue? I've always wondered this. How? That's because your stencil does not change colors, okay? The colors are not the same thing as the stencil. The stencil is not the same thing as the color. The science behind it, I don't know, but it never works that way. Sometimes you will do a tattoo and there will be like a blue haze on white for a while, but that fades away in time because it's not really in the skin, it's just on the surface. But yeah, I don't actually know the science behind it. Who knows? Who knows, dude? And then why use white? You want a temporary tattoo, and the author says, I have another white tattoo I've had for over 2 years with no touch-ups. This is something I see a lot of young tattooers doing, and it's like, look, I have this thing, and after 2 years, it looks great. And it's like, yeah, give it 10 years. Give it 20 years. Like, young tattooers think that because it looks good now, it's gonna look good forever, and they just don't have that time to really understand how tattoos change over time. Like, there's tattoos I've seen that I did when I was, 20, 21, and then I see them 2 years later and I'm like, oh my God, look at me. I'm a great tatter. And then I see it in 4 years and I'm like, ooh, that tattoo's starting to kind of do some stuff. And then 10 years later, I'm like, that's a crap tattoo. You did a crap tattoo, Kirk. And like, yeah, the time will give you way more perspective. And young tattooers don't understand that because they're dumb, because they're young and they don't know. But the more time you get, the more you realize what tattoos actually look like in real life. And like, another thing is like, young tattooers have only been in shops for a couple of years for the most part, and they haven't seen enough clients come in with old tattoos too. Like, if you're a young tattooer or a young tattoo client person, go actually look at old people's tattoos and like, be like, that was a nice looking tattoo 15 years ago. And like, be like, why does it not look nice now? Why? Why? Ask yourself, why? And like, a lot of people are like, well, it just looks cool. And it's like, yes, but look at the technical parts of it. Like, yeah, it looks cool that your grandpa had a 50-year-old panther on his arm, but why does it look like so smudgy and crappy now? Like, really break it down. Next. I've seen this kid a bunch lately. I hope he's not a kid. His sleeves are looking so tough. They look well done. I hope he's an adult. I really do. I'm gonna take a wild guess and assume that he's an adult and he just has like a genetic condition that makes him look so young. Because man, wherever they are, probably Brazil, there should be some child services coming around and checking in on this kid. Santos Tattooer. I think that this is gonna be Brazil. Wild. Kids with tats, dude. Tough kid. Kid stuff his nails, tougher than you, for sure. People always say tattoos hurt the older you get. Yeah, I think to an extent. I don't think tattoos feel good on a kid. Maybe. I don't know, tattoos getting more painful when you get older. People always say that, and honestly, I just think we care less about how cool we look. And so the tattoo, like, emotions play into how we respond through a tattoo. Like, if you've had a rough week and you go to get a tattoo at the end of it, for a lot of people, that tattoo is gonna feel like crap. Unless you're extremely excited about it. If you're so excited about a tattoo, the pain doesn't even matter. You just like fly into it. It's all right. You're gonna survive it. But like, if you've had a crappy week and you're not really like every tattoo client I've ever had who I'm working on a back piece on has one session where they break and they barely sit for even a couple hours, like maybe 30 minutes type of thing. And it's usually because they've just had a very awful week and they don't have the emotional toughness that week because they've just been through it. And unlike other tattoos, when you're getting a back piece, like usually you're not looking forward to the session. Like, unless it's the first or the last, you're not looking forward to it at all. So like, it really forces a person to like deal with the pain in a different kind of way because like the excitement levels are just not there because you only see it's one thing to walk into a tattoo shop and have a brand new piece and it's done. It's another thing, walk into another session and be like, we're only gonna get 15% of the way done with this tattoo. That's a crazy place to be. So usually they end up breaking and it's because they have these really like rough weeks. They don't have the enjoyment. They're not excited about the tattoo. They just wanna get it done. On to the next. Don't know what that has to do with the kid, but whatever. Majik does one bloody trad tattoo. and becomes a trad tatter. It's funny how in tattooing, we have these stereotypes. I will kind of be nice in this realm, but like you end up meeting the same tattooer in different places. Like they listen to the same music, they dress exactly the same, their personality is the same, everything is the same because of the style of tattooing. Like Chicano tattooers, I could think of the same person happening 20 different times. Traditional tattooers, I could think of the same person happening every time. Even like the pink-haired plant tattoo shop, that person looks the same, like they act the same, they say the same things. We all kind of like steal from the culture so much so that it becomes part of our identity and our personality. And it's just funny. This dude definitely dresses like half of the traditional tattooers I know. You know, what's also funny is that I've seen tattooers go through phases in their life that you're almost like, that's so strange. Like, it's weird for a tattooer to be like a skater kid, to like, I'm gonna be a punk rock kid, to I'm gonna be a cowboy, to I'm gonna be a Chicano, to I'm gonna be a skinhead, or like, you know, all these different personality types. Now, some stay with what, you know, like, obviously we're all humans. Some of us just stay the same. You know, if you're a skinhead, and I'm talking about cool skinheads, don't be weird. If you're a skinhead young in life and you end up as a skinhead, like, hey, you found your thing. But in tattooing, like, we're almost given this permission to be a kid forever. So you kind of see tattooers act like kids forever. And they go through phases like a child would, you know? And you're like, oh, that 40-year-old is all of a sudden a Chicano guy? Like, that is such a 90-degree turn from where he was 5 years ago. It's a 90-degree turn from where he was 2 years ago. And you're like, what the, huh? And it's because we have this kid-like job. It's a goofball job. We're goofball people. And we end up, you know, taking on personas almost like we're in a play or something. I don't know. It's weird. Or we become bikers or whatever, dude. I don't know. It's just funny. It's funny. We have this BS job, and we're allowed to act like weirdos our whole lives. I love it. Speaking of weirdos, we have a sword fight with tattoo machines. I am at a loss for words at how dumb this looks and how silly this is. I'm super about it. Like, go for it, be idiot. I like that you have crappy looking tattoos. You deserve them. I wish you guys weren't like, what do we say about this? What can we possibly say about this? Like, where is the interesting aspect about these type of tattoos? Like, it's the type of art you only can really appreciate if you're looking through a camera. You know, like, it's art made for Instagram. It's goofball behavior. I don't know. I just have nothing to say except for these guys are clowns, goofballs. They're gonna have crappy tattoos for the rest of their lives because they deserve them. The dumb decisions they made when they were 12, when they were 18 or whatever. But I just don't, like, as an art form, it's not interesting. And as tattoos, they're like 4 minutes away from rubbing each other, like, in a different kind of way. Like, this is about to make a turn in it's Pride Week here in Sayulita. No problem with it. But I don't generally watch it on the internet, and that's what this is about to turn into. Good for them. Hey, do whatever you want to do. Whatever gets your rocks off, go for it. It's weird when it involves tattooing to me, but that's where this feels like it's gonna go in 4 minutes. And the comments say, we're doing this as a protest against capitalist tattoo industry and the gatekeepers and the people only there for money, while being filmed by 10 content creators for IG and TikTok, hoping they will finally get monetized. That statement did something in my heart. I was like, ooh, that's funny. That makes me funny. There is this like revolt against traditional tattooing. And by that, I mean like this grand scale of different types of tattooing. Like from just line work stuff to black and gray to new school to traditional to tribal to fine line to all this, like that's the traditional form of tattooing. Like anything that has been around for more than, even like, color realism, something I absolutely hate. Still, in this case, I'm talking about traditional types of tattooing. You know, like I hate colored portraits. I think it should die, but they've been around for a long time. And there's this influx of like everything that's not that, which ends up being this type of like modern art take of tattooing. And it feels so capitalistic in a way, in a different kind of way, right? Like we make these pieces of art, these tattoos for money. It's part of the business, it's how it works. And then these kids like Dexter X or these people who do like these exhibit style tattooing like this garbage. And I go like, they just want fame on the internet. Like they just want the money that comes with it probably. And I'm like, what is happening here? When I was getting into tattooing, and this has like faulted me a lot through my career, because like when I was getting into tattooing, I knew I'd be broke probably the rest of my life. And it was a sacrifice that I was very happy to make at that time because I was like, I will love this forever. And now you just don't see that type of attitude in tattooing. And again, I think it's a fault because in some ways I'm like, I could probably be a better businessman or whatever. I also don't think that that's that true. But there is this influx of people who want to just take from the business, take from the act of tattooing. And like even this goofball thing is like, I'm gonna finally get TikTok monetization. And it's like, bro, I got TikTok monetization. It ain't like, we're not talking about millions of dollars here. Like, just chill. Don't do stupid crap for the internet, okay? Do good tattoos, be an interesting tattooer, move on. Next. Speaking of interesting art forms, this is the pinnacle of beautiful tattooing for the sake of tattooing. I'm just kidding, obviously. I love it though, I want it, want to be part of it. Next.
I was getting my armpit done and it was hurting a little bit, so I was like trying to let it cop out to my tattooer. I was like, hey, let's put one on the face. So I went to the face and did it, and just to give me some time to not act like it's sissy on the armpit. So we put the face tattoo on and just went with it, full send.
That is a really funny reason to get your face tattooed. Obviously, he was gonna get his face tattooed, right? Like it wasn't like he was never gonna get his face tattooed and he just decided to do it. He had the plan to do it. They just switched over to from the armpit to the face. Now, one thing about this tattoo is that no one thinks it lines up well. And I am not the guy who thinks it's lined up well either. I think it actually looks really awful. Like, if you told me, hey, I want to put a dagger on my face and I want it to line up perfectly forever, I'd be like, ain't happening, bro. That's a dumb idea. Ain't ever going to happen. Because this is not attached. You can't make it look good at every angle. Like, it's going to look off somewhere because it is off. It's never gonna look the same. This is a completely different texture than this. This is all nice and flat. This rounds off in a weird way. So like here and here you might be like, oh yeah, it looks great. And you tilt like this and you're like, oh, now I'm getting this opposite side of it and it just feels like it floated because this part is lifted off. So it's like an impossible task. And I honestly like face tattoos a lot usually. This is not the one I like. If you would, you should have just put something right here. For me, if I ever get my face tattoo, I'm gonna put a skull with wings right there on my face. Like right here, maybe make it the size of my thumb. How would I look? I look so cool. Just kidding, I don't know. I'd probably look like a dork. But yeah, the impossible task on a guy who could beat the crap out of you. So if I ever meet him, I'm gonna tell him how cool I think his tattoo is. I'll be like, oh, it looks right. And then run away, dude. Because he beat my ass. We'd end up looking like the sword fight from earlier, except for mostly just him sword fighting me. Next. Wow. That's a ruined back. It's a ruined back tattoo, and there's nothing good about it. This is what I'm talking about. That will be there when she's 80. That is everything that makes up a bad tattoo because we know it makes up a bad tattoo. But it looks funny or something, it's interesting on the internet, it's just bad. Bad tattooing for the sake of internet tattooing. Celebrity feet, I'm on it. Catch you later.